Crosby, Gensel on the right. He scores! Jake Gensel!
Hundley holds, steps up. Hundley sacks T.J. Watt. NFL history. Watt has tied Michael Strahan's single-season record. Oh, no.
In the air to right. This is deep. And he did it again. Jack Sawinski wins it for the Pirates. 3 home runs in a game.
Welcome to another live edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline in the BP TV studio right here in downtown Bethel Park at the Municipal Building. We have a problem. Smoking Jim, you okay?
Kind of feel short.
This is a live TV show. Thank you for watching us on Comcast 21, only in Bethel Park. These guys are a little confused. Nick's getting taller. He started out at 5'4". He's now 6'6".
I can't find a lever.
Maybe Jim can help you. All right, thanks for watching us on Verizon 32 in Bethel Park and all the way from Nemacolin, Cranberry, Wexford, and the greater Pittsburgh area. And we appreciate you. Thanks for watching us on Facebook Live. We're still hovering around 7,000 likes. Thank you for that. We appreciate you. I'm Al Levine, the talking machine. We got Smoking Jim Frazier. We got Nick VIP Callis. And we got Michael Rohde. He's now going to be a regular co-host every other week with another gentleman. We'll tease you with, wait till you see who is coming back. We'll split it every other week with you two.
I've made it big time.
You did.
You
You're
did.
on.
Congratulations.
I want to thank Peggy and Nick for making you who you are.
Me too.
And this is Michael Rohde, and we're going to do our promos. We got another surprise. I don't even know how to say this. A young man walked in, looked half as big as he was 2 years ago, or a year ago. Ryan, who was doing the control room better than anybody. Yeah. He was in Grandma of Michael. He's in the top 5 of cameramen and control room guys. Michael has to work to get to that 10. He's holding on the edge. He's getting better. As long as he's quiet, we're good. But Ryan's the guy, and guess what? Peggy and Nick, he's helping your grandson in the control room. Any questions he has, Ryan talks now. He's down 120 pounds. He looks great. And Marco can ask him anything, and we're going to put on a great show for you.
Wasn't he real quiet when he was here?
No, he was silent.
Wonder how he got that girlfriend. He spoke up then, didn't he?
Disclaimer for Smoking Jim.
Wow.
He's a scout for football, Steelers, and women. And if you ask him if he's dating, he says no. None of us believe him. So we're going to go right to our promos right now. And hopefully Ryan knows what button to hit for the promos. Pittsburgh Sportsline supports the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Strikers. I worked there for 36 years. My former union, CWA PPMWS 14842, Pittsburgh Local Mailers Union number 22, is on strike. Even though health care benefits were secured for workers by the union, Post-Gazette management cut them out without the union's approval and still expected workers to show up without any coverage. Please cancel your Post-Gazette subscriptions online or in print. Pittsburgh Sportsline supports the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Union Strikers. Frank Fanera, owner of Olive Oil's Pizzeria and the Hillcrest Shopping Center on Route 88. Call them at 412-831-1900. Every Tuesday night, Olive Oil's Pizzeria provides the host and the amazing volunteer crew with an XL pepperoni pizza and a full steak hoagie. They are delicious. Olive Oils is proud to support Pittsburgh Sportsline and the volunteers at BPTV. Stay Joey strong. Joey Fabus died at 8 years old of brain cancer known as DIPG. Since then, the family has come together with community members to create the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit. Since being founded, they've raised over $100,000. Go to jfccf.org to learn more about DIPG, to help spread awareness, and to see how else you can support and donate towards the fight against this dreaded brain cancer. Always Be Smiling, a 501c3 designed to help children and families in need of kidney transplants. The B stands for Bennett, whose memory is embedded in this organization by his parents, Kristen and Dean. Despite the challenges he faced in his 16 and a half years of life, Bennett always had a smile on his face and spread kindness to everyone he could. Now, Always Be Smiling wants to pass on that kindness. Go to alwaysbesmiling.org to learn more and see how you can support or donate to this organization. The Bethel Park Community Foundation has money for you. I'm Al Levine, trustee on the board of this great organization. The BPCF focuses on raising money to provide scholarships, grants, endowments, and more. Grant requests are available online from $100 to $5,000. You can also attend fundraisers or donate. Go to bpcf.org to get more information and to stay up to date on upcoming events. The Bethel Park Community Foundation, focusing community resources, building for the future. The Bethel Park Historical Society is a 501c3 that serves Bethel Park. The Historical Society operates out of the Schoolhouse Arts and History Center, located at 2600 South Park Road. Look for the red and white trolley right out front. Reginald's Coffee is inside, and I've heard it's the best coffee around. To visit this great historical venue, email historicalsocietybp@gmail.com.
Join the Bethel Park Police Department in support of Kicks for Kids. Its mission is to provide grade school students with a fresh pair of shoes to start off the school year on the right foot. Donations of new youth and adult-sized tennis shoes will be graciously accepted. You can also make a tax-deductible financial donation, 100% of which will go toward the purchase of tennis shoes for students. You can support by calling 412-835-7220, by texting K for K to 44321, or by mailing orders to Life Builders at 2624 Brandis Avenue in South Park. There's also a bin in the lobby of the Bethel Park Police Station for you to make a drop-off. Kicks for Kids. Let's build together and make a difference in the life of a student. And now this message from BPTV.
Alas, poor talking machine. I knew him well. A fellow of infinite jest, of most excellent fancy?
Dave, I'm not dead. I'm still doing Pittsburgh Sportsline every Tuesday night and many other weekly shows on BPTV.
That's great, Al, but then who's this?
I don't know, but we must leave right now. Let's go. Help save Pittsburgh police officer Jeffrey Crawford. Jeffrey is in need of a kidney donation. He's in stage 5 renal failure and he's on dialysis 3 times a week. He needs this kidney ASAP. To contact the UPMC donor registry, call 412-647-4438 or go to livingdonorreg.upmc.com. And to help spread awareness, use the hashtag #BlessJeff on socials. Let's come together to support Pittsburgh policeman Jeffrey Crawford in his time of need. Alex Reed is in need of a kidney. 2 weeks after college graduation, Alex's kidneys failed. A gracious donor gave Alex 7 years of life, but now he needs another kidney. To learn more about becoming a donor for Alex, call 830-285-2140 or go to kidneysolutions.org. Zhang Taekwondo just opened a new location in the South Hills, along with its location in Wexford and its inclusion in the curriculum of Provident Charter School in Troy Hill. Zhang uses Taekwondo to teach its students confidence and self-discipline through physical fitness. Zhang is offering a 4-week special. You get a uniform and lessons for $30. If you mention the Talking Machine, Smoking Jim, or VIP Nick, they'll give you a further discount. For more information, go to zhangtkd.com or call 724-934-9264. I didn't hear anything. Oh, we're good. All right. Thanks to Chuck, Chief McElroy. Paul Haley's watching. Paul Haley is watching from Apex, North Carolina on Facebook Live.
How about that?
Where'd you go, Paul? Ann Harder says, great. Congrats, Mike. Chip Hayner's on vacation. He says, good evening, gentlemen.
Whoa.
We salute you, Chip.
Hi, Chip.
All right. Paul Haley. Oh, Ralph Williams. Hello, guys. Paul Haley.
man.
Is Mike Tomlin going to be the alternate guest with Mike Rohde? Asking for a friend.
Maybe.
Wait do you hear my segment about the Steelers? Margaret Rohde. Hi, Al. Wonderful show. Handsome panel. Yeah, of course, your son's with us. Nick and Peggy Rohde are watching. Marco Rohde. Hi, guys. What did you think about the Bills-Jets games last night? We will cover that. What did you think about it? Text me. All right. Smoking Jim Frazier. What's on your mind?
Thanks, Al Levine, the Talking Machine. And if you want the green,
Coming at you.
you got to see Levine. And I tell you what, Al Levine, the Talking Machine.
What?
When is 46 points enough? Not enough. When Central scores 62. Hey, listen. That's let me carry the one. That's
Hold it.
108 points.
Hold
That's
it.
the most points ever in a high school
Hold
game,
it.
isn't it?
Time
that
out.
I can remember.
Time out. No disclaimer. Last week, shout out to Chip. Knock, knock. Smoking Jim. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Owen.
Owen.
0-3. Gateway.
But hey, the one good thing.
0-3. You're in Bethel Park.
Hey,
He's
I
no
love me some Bethel
disclaimer.
Park. I love me some Bethel Park.
Well, he had a good friend here. He passed away. We won't mention that because he's so disrespectful of Bethel
I
Park.
had a good friend that passed away.
At Bethel Park
No, I didn't hear about it.
years ago.
What are you looking at me? Wait.
Think back to
Oh
who,
yeah, Armin the Hammer Gilliam. Woo! I thought you meant Coach. I thought you meant Dr. J. I'm like, wow. Woo! You know, Dr. J's a friend.
Smoking Jim. He suffers, and I'm not disrespectful here. He's a black man, has his own opinions. I respect it. But he's been concussed so many times, they won't even diagnose him now. And I just spell out CTE.
Hey, the one good thing, the fans.
Oh, here he goes.
The fans didn't have to chant defense long, did they, Machine? But hey, listen, Jerkovich is wondering why the fans are booing him and not Pickett. But hey, Al Levine, the Talking
You know
Machine.
why? You know why? They go to school in Oakland at Pitt. They don't know what the Steelers are. They don't go to the games.
And I'll finish on this.
You've done enough.
I told everybody on draft day that it would be a wasted draft if the Pittsburgh Steelers did not draft Jordan Addison what happened the first minute of the first game he ever played in, 50-yard touchdown pass. That would have been Pickett's security blanket. And that's all I got to say. That's what's on my mind, Jordan. I'm going to give you a Jordan Addison update each and every week.
I'll give you an open door more update. Scoop says hello. Hello, Scoop. Thanks for watching. Amy says, hi, guys. Chip, enjoy your vacation. I think Amy had said something before, but yeah, here it is. Hi, guys. I was away on vacation last week at Pymatuming Lake. Smoking Jim, I like your outfit. Welcome back, Amy,
Thank
with
you,
your
Amy.
compliments only for Smoking Jim. And Pete Kasich wants to know what you're drinking now.
Ginger ale.
Okay. All right. Nick Callis, what's on your mind?
Thank you. I do want to address Jurkovic's comments a little bit because it's really odd, right? You don't typically hear that, and we as fans know why you don't hear that because we're the fans, right? We're the ultimate supporters financially, physically. Show up to the games.
Mentally, we're all in.
Now, if you're booing youth football, that's a little bizarre because those kids, not all of them are specializing in football, right? But the older you get, right, the more experience the players get and the higher expectations you have of players to perform. And Jurkovic was a Pittsburgh native, and now he's here. So when you complete 10 of 32 passes, the fans had higher expectations than that from you, especially when you came back and won the first game of the season. So, and again, college athletes, it's a developmental stage, but at the same time, you got to look back and you got to go, okay, these guys are adults, right? So they are grown men as well. Like the fans that are booing are same as the grown men who are on the field. They're a little less experienced because they're in college, but again, they're adults. Like you can handle this. You got to expect this from college football with its such high demand. But to call out the fans and then say that you also didn't play well in the same sentence, it's just really weird. It's just really weird. He's going to lose Pitt. He's going to lose Pitt fans. Like, you don't come back from a statement like that. And think about this, too. And think about how much harm he did to Pitt now going into West Virginia. Think about the branding that West Virginia is going to do. What do you think? Oh, yeah, this guy's afraid of booing. Oh, here you go. Come to WVU. Like, they're going to brand that, too. Like, he set up the team for a lot of failure because if he is internally creating a rebellion against his own fans and you're going to WVU week in Morgantown to their fans, you've set the team up for failure and you've set yourself up to look like a jack wagon. That's what's on my mind.
Nick, you did great. And I've heard reports because my son Drew loves West Virginia.
Yeah.
One year we went down, it was so cold. At halftime, I got hot chocolate.
Nice.
We're watching the band. We sit down, I go to drink it, it was frozen. So what I noticed is across the way from the field, there were these couches burning.
Yep.
I've heard they've been having meetings about just what you talked about, what they plan for Jurkovic. They're burning couches already in advance of it. So stay tuned. All right, we're going to the guy we just brought up to regular co-host.
All right.
Mike Rohde, what is on your mind? At least one thing.
so much.
One thing.
I
Try
got
to
all kinds of
focus.
things.
You'll have a segment in a few minutes.
All right, I gotta talk about our Steelers, but before I do, real quick, remember when I think it might have been the first time I was on, I compared the Pirates to the New York Jets.
Yes.
Because no matter what the New York Jets do, it
I
doesn't
remember.
work out.
Yeah.
Boom. There you go.
R.I.P.
Rodgers has missed, a handful of games
You
in the
went to the
97 years he's been Packers. He plays 4 plays for the Jets, and he's out for the year. I rest my case.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, that was a great thing to bring up. You can, as Smoking Jim's football coaches used to tell us, watch the film on that.
There you go. But anyway, on the Steelers, I want Ryan to pull up that clip when I talked about never trust the preseason, and they're probably going to get thumped against San Francisco, and they're going to start 2-4 and everything. Oh wait, on technical difficulties, you can't pull that clip up. You'll just have to trust me that that's exactly what I said.
Oh, no,
Because-
wait. Here, I'm not going to do a disclaimer. I recognize what he's saying, and I'm going to rebut what I jumped on last week, the bandwagon. So you're leading it up to me.
Well, yeah,
That's
I'll
a good
tee
softball.
up.
You teed me right up. This softball is like a watermelon.
But I also said,
I'm ready. Put me in, coach.
Part B of that was that I still think they're going to win a playoff game, and I'll tell you why. If you look at
Now I ain't questioning this.
Tua, and you look at the Bills quarterback and a couple other guys, Jalen Hurts, it takes a year and a half for a quarterback. And I think I know why. My theory is because they open up the offense for them, and all of a sudden they have to start doing reads. Cut this way,
They have
cut
to
that
think.
way.
They gotta
In the
think.
preseason, I know it's the preseason, but Pickett was accurate, throwing right at guys, right? Now he's off 5 feet this way. He's off 5 feet that way. Because guys are turning in when he's throwing out. So I think that's the next level
And
of
the other
adjustment
point,
quarterbacks have to make.
don't you learn to throw a lead pass to somebody
Yeah,
to run
absolutely.
under it? That's what you're saying, but we didn't see that either.
Hey, that's what cost him the Super Bowl back in 1995 because
Whoa.
Neil O'Donnell threw out and Cordell Stewart, I think,
I got to
ran in.
disclaim that. I've been saying since that time, and I've watched football my whole life since a little kid when I loved the Green Bay Packers. He's from Jersey. There's mobsters all over the country, but they're from Jersey. And the Dallas Cowboy guy, his name, whatever.
Larry Brown.
Yeah, he intercepted 2 balls that were thrown exactly to him by one of the most accurate quarterbacks we had in a few years. So
That's exactly what I'm saying.
But my point is that the money dictated the win of the game.
Yeah, I don't know
You
if
can
I-
dispute it, but find the evidence.
Yeah, I'm going
Because
more
the
towards
receiver
the
wasn't
reads.
close
It's-
to where the pass went. I can picture it right now. On the first interception, I was like, why did he throw it there? There's a 10-yard gap.
Yeah, it's yeah.
But your point's well
Pickett,
taken.
Pickett is an accurate quarterback, and he was off here and there all day. But I think it's mostly because of those reads. That said, that's not the only excuse. He didn't play well. I
Right.
mean, that's clear. But I also think that here's another thing. It was a bad luck day. In
general.
He fell down. The receiver fell down and it gets intercepted.
Deontay.
Pat Peterson said he's going to pick him off. He easily could have had 2 interceptions. One went right through his hands. The other one was in the end zone. All he had to do was turn around one split second earlier, and there's another pick.
But he's
So
never been this
there were
old
bad
before.
lucks.
He's never
Bad
been that
luck.
old. He'll be a Hall of Famer,
Oh, no
but
doubt.
not
I'm
on
just
Sunday.
saying, I don't think we're as bad as Sunday. We'll find out Monday a little bit more, but again, I think we're going to be 2-4, and then you're going to start to see a turnaround. Yes, sir.
Oh, sorry.
go
You had
ahead.
your hand raised? Go ahead. You go
He
first.
raised his hand, so he gets to go
Like
first.
I've been saying all along, Pickett was ranked the 28th quarterback in the league and played somewhat like it. But my question is, did you see any fear in his eyes? Did marriage make him a little soft? Because he looked like a few times he wanted to get home. He wanted to make sure he was healthy enough to get home and see his beautiful wife.
Yeah, I think he did
I'll
look a little
disclaim
tentative.
that. Last year, I mentioned that he couldn't see the left side of the field because of Open Door Moore. Now, this got worse because I saw guys open or guys he could have hit, and Mike called it perfectly. He was off. And you got anything else to say? Because then I'll start.
No,
my
go
segment.
ahead, please.
Yeah.
Pick me.
All
I
right,
have a
I got to
question.
get
Okay,
Nick
go ahead.
first.
Did you put Deontay Johnson tripping in the bad luck category?
Yeah.
I'd say there's a lot of guys for the Steelers
don't-
that were slipping and sliding, and guys for the 49ers that weren't. That's just bad luck.
Was it unfortunate when he developed stone hands as well? I expect that from Johnson.
He also did one of his patented go the wrong way, but then
Yeah.
he got about 20 more yards. So, take the good with the bad, right?
Well, how
I
about
guess.
when he goes back after a 15-yard gain and then they don't have a first down?
Well, and they're going to
Right?
see
I've seen that.
he's probably going to be out this week. So now we'll see.
No, he's
See
gonna
if
be out for
anybody
a few
steps
weeks.
up.
Oh, the
Few weeks?
hamstring
Yeah.
will be more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll
There
be
you
out
go.
for a few weeks,
So we'll see.
which might be good. Might provide an opportunity for someone else.
Yep.
Yeah, but he's always open. He was one of the most open wide receivers in the NFL last year.
Trade for Jordan Addison.
Think about that. We missed him, buddy. You missed it. All right. All right, Al, what's on your mind? Steel or Kool-Aid? Sorry to all of you. I know it's insensitive. I broke one of my rules being a Steeler fan. We lose a game, fire everybody. We win a game, we're going to the Super Bowl. We have a quarterback that does 5 good passes, gets a couple TDs in the preseason. I don't even watch preseason football normally, but I was drinking that get away from me, that I believed that the hype would happen, but my reservations were offensive line, Joey Porter, other people, linebackers that we had, Kenny Pickett, because he's still young. And lo and behold, I was saying Moore's a different guy. He lost weight. He's blocking. He only allowed 1 sack in preseason. Guess what he did in the opening game? First series, he allowed 1 sack. I tell Drew will know it. I go, this is open door Moore again. Then Smoking Jim talks about him and Tomlin being friends. I never was friends with Tomlin. He inherited Cowher's players, won a Super Bowl, and since then he only had Big Ben as his quarterback. He doesn't know how to handle other quarterbacks like when we had Duck and Mason. Look at what he did there. Now we win the coin toss. How many in here tell you that you always defer?
Yeah, always.
So Tomlin was drinking his own Kool-Aid. He goes, let's take the ball. I never saw a team so unprepared to start a game that had 2 weeks to prepare just for this game.
What, you mean you didn't like the jet sweep?
Just for 2 weeks to prepare. What are they talking about? And who's even playing for them? And then they talk about Tomlin last year. Wow, started out 2-6. He should have been coach of the year because he was 7-2. I said, if you coach the beginning of the season and you coach the end of the season, then tell me what coach he is. Well, we saw it on the coin toss right off the bat. Then look at the defense, look at their offense. The only guy that played defense that I noticed is somebody named T.J. Watt, and he got 3 sacks, and he passed James Harrison, who was never a mentor, Smoking Jim. He always said he was a mentor of somebody. I said, a friend of mine was once my mentor, and he turned into a tormentor. I said, he was a tormentor. But look at T.J. Watt, finally got his name out of the record book, but having the longest touchdown interception in the Super Bowl, he'll always be there, and I respect him for that. And I respect him for lifting 1,000 pounds every hour, because that's how he made his name. I don't respect him for not going to see the president when they won the Super Bowl, because for some reason he's been hit so many times. When he concussed somebody, he had a double concussion each time, so he didn't understand you had to fly a plane to go to D.C. So he waited for the bus. All right, we're going to go to Fiction and Fact. Oh, by the way, Steelers, I don't know if they can be 2-4. I'm worried about the next 3 games being 0-3, Mike.
No, they'll be 0-4, then they'll win the next 2 and be 2-4.
I needed a clarification. I like that. I needed help because I'm only seeing 1 game ahead right now. I'm like the regular Steeler fan. We should have fired everybody. And then, one more thing. Sorry I'm taking too long, but I like to listen to Tomlin after a game for about 30 seconds. I know he's a smart guy. ESPN loves him, one of the greatest coaches. Non-losing streak, 16 years. And I say he's disrespectful to our media. So he came out, and I was surprised. We played terrible. This isn't how we wanted to play. And then he's talking about it, and he goes, the personality of the other team overtook the game. And they're asking him, well, what about, the team? The personality they had, it took over the game. He has one word that he says each time. This week, personality of the team that beat us, that's why we lost. How about the lack of good play? That lost it. I'm no Tomlin, and he's getting the money. I got nothing here. Let's go to Fiction and Fact with Smoking Jim Frazier.
Al Levine, the talking machine, and we got my boys in the control room, Marco and Ryan. Got Johnny B. Good here, my main man, Mikey. But I told you guys on draft day this guy would be a bust. He was the first player picked overall. I said I wouldn't pick him in 12 rounds. Bryce Young had a horrible game, 48% rating, under 50% completions, 2 interceptions, and the losing cause this weekend. So we'll keep a running total on him before he gets run out of the league. Al Levine, the talking machine. We're going back
Last
to a
week.
friend of the show. Al Levine, the talking machine. When I played college ball, we had a lot of Division
When was
I.
it?
We
When
had
was
a
it?
lot of Division
Oh, we don't
I
know how old he is.
guys that didn't make it in Division I at Pitt, Oklahoma, several other schools
Cal
that
U.
would transfer down. And most of them didn't pan out. But usually the guys who made all WPIL and all state and Big 33 did pan out pretty good. Maybe not their first couple of years, but eventually they played up to their billing. One of the biggest recruits my sophomore year was a guy from Montour. He was an all WPIL first team nose guard, all state nose guard, and Big 33. He came in, Al Levine, the talking machine. If there was 10 nose guards, he was number 11. Al Levine, he was so bad that Al Levine, the talking machine, what they would do, to lose your scholarship, to lose your year of eligibility, they would put you in for a couple plays the last game of the season. That way you lose a whole year right away. So they put him in
That
a
was
few
brilliant.
games, the last game of the season. So he comes up to me because I was known for developing players. I had a bag of footballs like this.
Give me one
and
witness
never
to
went
that.
to-
I
never
want
went to
one
play.
witness.
So he came, he said, hey, he was only Al Levine, the talking machine, 200 pounds. How you going to play nose guard at 200 pounds? He was a little guy. He said, can you teach me how to be a defensive back? I said, yeah. Al Levine, the talking machine, I could not help this guy. He was all thumbs, 2 left feet. You know, I mean, the worst I ever seen, Al Levine, the talking machine. So I happened to be walking by the coach's office one day while everybody was in class. And Dick Haley, who was the general manager of the Steelers, his younger brother was our defensive coordinator.
What was
Bob
his name?
Haley.
Oh,
Bob Haley.
yeah.
So Bob Haley said, Smoking Jim, get in here. He said, watch this on film. The last 8 games of the last game of the season, they put this kid in at nose guard that's still a scholarship. His name is Butch Ramsey. He made every play.
He was a guest on our show.
Unbelievable. The next year he starts at 200 pounds at nose guard. Not only was he all conference, not only was he all state, not only was he all American. In 10 games he had 103 tackles. He did better his junior year, but unfortunately, I mean, this guy was so great, Mike, that he would actually tackle quarterbacks before they'd hand the ball off. He was the most unbelievable player you ever wanted to see. But he wasn't that two-gap player. He wasn't going to take on Nick and another guy. The guy that owns Dino's Restaurant out in Latrobe, where all the Steelers go and get drunk, they always had on the radio, I think your station announces, Dino DiCario.
Who's the fan?
Dino DiCario was a year behind him. In Butch Ramsey's senior year, he's first team All-American. They bench him and broke his heart for Dino DiCario, who ended up being a good player too. And Dino was a big guy, could take on a couple blocks. And I heard he got some good wings out there. I got to go out there. As soon as he has a free alumni day, I'm going to go get me some wings. But hey, to my good friend Butch Ramsey, the greatest nose guard I ever seen, the most unblockable player I ever seen in my life.
And we had him on our
And I
show. He's a
enjoy
great
watching
guy.
him. Yes, he was.
Nice guy.
But, one last thing. The only way I noticed him his freshman year, this is how, because we had about 5-6 football fields.
Yeah.
So if you wasn't with the first team, you might have been on field D or E. That's where he was. The only time I noticed him was when they carried him in because he was allergic to bees and got stung by a bee. Hell, I mean, they didn't even call the ambulance. They just carried him in. Hell, I mean, the talking machine. But that's the only time I ever noticed him. But he ended up being a great, great player. And that's what's on my Fiction and Fact from Smoking Jim's on.
I appreciate that. Patrick Higgs is watching. Thanks for watching. John Donatelli. I guess San Francisco had weighty plays in their backfield. but this is great. And then listen to this. But they had a good personality. John, I salute you. Woo! Thank you. Thanks for coming back. I appreciate that. Where are we going now? Steelers are everywhere. Okay. I got the blinders on. I don't know who's waving, but I'm watching Smoking Jim eat now. He worked up an appetite. All right. In the control room, let's go to Nick VIP Callis right now. 10 seconds away. Come on. He never talked.
Run, pass. Run, pass.
Hold it, that was on Pittsburgh Sportsline.
We will punt it. Yeah. 5 3-and-outs to start the game. Unacceptable. They're doing the same thing. Now, I look back at the play sheet. I was corrected. It was actually more like pass, run for the first 4 drives, and then they did a run, pass to force another 3-and-out. But the same result stands, and it's very disappointing because Al already said it. They had 2 weeks to prepare, and they came out with all that. Jet sweep
Thank
here.
you.
Let's run Najee Harris right into one of the best defenses in the league. Let's leave a hole for him. Open Door Moore was one of those. I feel bad for Najee, too. The one play, you remember, I think it was Fred Warner, right?
Yeah.
Just smacked the hole and found him. If the defense of your opponent knows where the play is going so much that the running back gets hit like that, there's a problem. There are also several people out there who have the opinion that the defense was the worst side of the ball in that game, and I disagree with that plenty. You want to make stops, and I get that, but they also did choose to receive to start the game, which was a mistake. And then the offense goes out there and puts out a 3-and-out. And then the defense has to work. They're a running football team, the 49ers are. They chipped away, they grinded. That's what we expected them to do. They chipped away, they grinded, they scored. Okay, well then your offense gets the ball again. Anthony McFarland's running back kicks and giving you pretty good field position. And then you go 3-and-out. You punt. Presley Harvin's not a great punter, so San Francisco gets the ball close to midfield. Okay, now the defense has to try to make stops again and grind. San Francisco scores. You get the ball back. Anthony McFarland, another great kick return. 3-and-out. So I don't get how you can blame the defense for the entire game. Sure, they're the highest paid, even though T.J. Watt's a great percentage of that, and Minka Fitzpatrick is another great percentage of that. But, yeah, if you say that the defense is highly paid, that's a little bit misleading.
Add Cam.
And Cam. That's a little misleading for 3 players out of 11 on the field, that they're not the majority percentage of the defense. So you can't go 3-and-out as an offense and expect the defense to do well. That's like if you did a bunch of jumping jacks, right? You did 50 jumping jacks, and then you only got 5 seconds to rest before doing your next 50 jumping jacks. You're going to get slower at the jumping jacks over time.
Great
Same
analogy.
thing with the defense. They're playing one of the most run-heavy offenses with Christian McCaffrey leading the way as their tailback, and they're running and they're wearing the defense down. That was their game. The offense doesn't help, though, when the offense isn't out there very long, because then the defense has to get right back out there. So don't tell me that the defense had much blame in this. We knew what San Francisco's offense was. They were grindy. And the Steelers' defense couldn't keep up because the offense for the Steelers, 5 straight 3-and-outs to start. They were on the field for not even 2 minutes before they punted. So, and then the punter, not great. And then the 49ers already had great field position. It's not the defense's fault. It's very frustrating that they had so much preparation. The offense is so fixed. It's repaired, and then they came out and did that. And I heard from some insiders as well this week that the offense actually in the preseason was legit, and then San Francisco scored and they panicked. If your offensive coordinator is going to panic after one drive, he's not worthy. And I'm prepared to say that. I blame it on him. You might want to blame it on Tomlin because Tomlin approved his
Somebody's
hire
in charge
and has him employed. And if you want to blame Tomlin for Canada's failings, you're not wrong. I'm not going to say you're wrong, But if Canada's the offensive coordinator and you deem him competent enough to do the job, and he goes out there and he scrambles, and we retreat back to the stuff that happened last year that didn't work. It's the same problems. We were talking about this last year too, and that's what's also extra frustrating. How the offense couldn't get anything together and the defense was being taxed over and over and over again to the point where it broke. So that's the opinion. Blame the offense. Canada's not doing well. You got to keep your composure and you got to adjust better than what they did. And 5 straight 3-and-outs on offense is not acceptable. And we got a hand race.
You'll be saying that again next week when Cleveland shoves it down the throat. But did Highsmith look like a $17 million player? The answer is no. Herbig is better. It's time to get Herbig in there. I mean, Highsmith, I don't know what the Steelers was thinking when they signed him to that contract.
Okay, good.
Another point. Canada was around for Big Ben. What did we see of the offense then?
A lot of struggles and then hurry up in the fourth quarter.
Yes.
Well, how about that, too? During the hurry-up offense, they scored before the second half ended. Or the first half ended.
How about they give the ball to Najee and they blocked and he got 22 yards?
Yeah.
That was a rarity.
Najee's great.
Now, last year was Canada in charge of the offense. Did we have similar things happen?
Yeah.
But we had one thing unusual. We didn't have Big Ben in the last minute or two to save us.
Correct.
So somehow we overcame it. So do you see a pattern with Tomlin hiring Canada and what they do offensively?
They don't start fast, and that's been a problem for years.
That's the point.
Yes.
That's the point.
Yeah.
So why would you take the ball first?
Good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
I end my points. We're going to move on to – we have a segment for Mike yet or not? We just let him –
There's a concept in the works. Expect one when he's back next.
Whoa. All right. See you in 2 weeks. This is roadie time.
All right.
I had to come up with something.
Hey, works for me. So
Diane's watching. She said, behave yourself. No, she didn't say that.
So let Uncle Mike calm everybody down a little bit.
Okay.
Let me just soothe everybody's nerves. Everybody take a deep breath. I had to look up what year this was. I remember it was, and it turned out to be 2011. It was the year that unfortunately ended with the Tim Tebow Bowl. But they went 12-4 that year and had a really good year.
Yeah.
You know what the first game, the result was? 37-7 loss to Baltimore.
Wow.
Anybody remember that?
Yeah.
So the beginning of the season is the beginning of the season. I get it, but you kind of forget what happened in the first game by the time the fourth game rolls around. I'm not saying they're going to be great. In fact, might even be 0-4. But I still stick
Whoa,
with the
he
fact,
said it. He said it.
they'll
Wait a
still be
second.
2-4. So I really think that everybody just needs. And I'd rather have a passionate fan base, preferably one that wouldn't sell their tickets to people from the West Coast. But I get it. You sell one ticket, you play for the you pay for
You
the rest
pay
of
the
the
whole
season. I get it.
I salute the brain power of the dumb Steeler fans.
Now I know how all those other teams felt, right? I turned the TV on, all I saw was red. I'm like, what? I literally thought I had the wrong game on.
Yeah.
I literally almost changed it to a different channel because I'm like, well, that's not Heinz Field.
Or something's wrong with the TV.
Whatever.
Hit it, honey.
Exactly. So
Good
they'll
points.
be fine. So real quick, secondly, Pitt is bringing in finally a 3-star, probably run first kid, the kid from Penn Hills. I believe his name is Duggar, Julian.
You can't mention Penn Hills because he doesn't recognize them coming from Gateway.
I understand.
So you got away with a little disclaimer there.
I'm hoping they don't do what Cowher did when he had Cordell Stewart and hired Kevin Gilbride to make him a pocket passer.
Good point.
It drives me crazy when I hear Cowher gush about Lamar Jackson, and I'm like, you had a better version of Lamar Jackson and tried to make him a pocket passer.
Yeah.
So I'm really hoping that they don't put this kid into the same offense that's been there the last couple of years, or it's going to be a complete disaster. It's not going to work. And with Cignetti there, I'm not sure how you do that, right? I mean, that's his bread and butter is basically a pro style.
Bring Whipple back.
I don't know what to do. Bring the head coach of Penn Hills for all I care, but somebody who can.
Look what Whipple did with Pickett.
Yeah.
He made Pickett run over the sidelines
Every play. Wasn't that hilarious? Kept him in shape.
Look at what he did with them.
Yeah.
Now We don't have anybody on the
That
sideline
wasn't
for
Whipple.
Pickett.
That wasn't Whipple.
Yeah, it was.
That was Jordan Addison.
No.
But anyway, I hope Pitt's going
You're
to need to
off.
make a radical change in their offense to accommodate this kid, and I hope they do it. I hope they don't try to put him, finally get a player like that, and try to put him into an offense that he's just not suited for.
If he's from Penn Hills, he won't pan out.
See, Smoking Jim goes there. All right, thanks, Mike. We got Paul Haley makes a comment. Pete Kasich's watching. Smoking Jim was gulping down his ginger ale at the beginning of the show. Pete, you mixed it. And Michael, you better have me on the camera instead of Uncle Mike. I'm going to talk to your mother. You know I know your mother. All right, Paul Haley. The O-line looks as bad as last year, especially after I threw up that Kool-Aid. Pickett is running for his life again. The hurry-up offense caught the 49 off guard as we finally moved the ball. But why didn't it happen again?
Because Canada can't make adjustments.
I started this last year when everybody was complaining. I said, there's a song, Oh Canada. It's here again. All right, let's see my segment in 10 seconds. All right, on location, not much to talk about, but we got a special 5K 1 mile run for the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation. Superheroes for DIPG. 9 o'clock in the morning. They had 333 people signed up to participate, and they think they're going to hit 450. Wow. I'm going to go with David Fabus and Cindy Fabus and their family. Make it 500. Go online, sign up, have some fun. They got different booths, they got food, they got activities there. Nick and I are going to be there. No Smoking Jim because he only goes to bed at that time. But we'll be doing the Joey Fabus show. I've been promoting him for the last 8 years. They've raised over $100,000 to help find a cure for DIPG. They had a great booth. Shout out to the Fabuses. I got my new gold out shirt, Joey Fabus shirt. I'll be wearing it. No Pittsburgh Sports Line, but we'll be filming it. Come on out. If you're there and you watch the show, I'll do a quick interview. Thanks for being a fan and supporting Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation. Amen. They're a great thing. Poor Joey died, like I said earlier, at 8 years old. And look at a family, that's the second child they lost. And they're just helping others. And that's what we can do here in Bethel Park on Sunday. Don't forget, 9 a.m. Smoking Jim, before you go to bed, bring your coffee, free coffee from the casino. Put your bets down for the gambling, and come on over. I'll give you a banana and an orange that they give the runners and walkers. I'll treat you. I'm treating. You can eat. All right, we got 10 minutes left. We didn't mention Pirates. I'm going to be collecting a quarter from Nick here.
And they almost beat the Braves in the series, too.
I know, he was close. They did have a series win before that, and they've showed a little bit of flashes here to get up to, 66 wins?
65.
No, 66. You missed that one. You lost at the casino on that.
65.
No, they're 66. I'll bet $1.
Either way, they're on an upward trend toward 500 in the month.
Are they still playing?
Yeah.
They're playing tonight.
So
Well, here,
I thought
I'll put $1 up. 66, and I saw
yeah, I was right.
like the first month they were 20-5. Then the last thing I saw, they were 25-20, and they were saying, "Wow, the Pirates have come back." I'm like, "Wait,
Will you take
20
my Sam's Club?
yeah, you don't have a single. This is a first ever.
You don't have a single?
Oh, 20's in here.
This is a first."
Is this symbolic of the fact
Oh,
that
here goes
there we go.
$1.
That's the first time. Let me check to see if it's real. Let me see if it's real.
Well, them 20s.
Yeah.
Them 20s stick together, too, don't
Those 20s aren't real.
they? Well, that's a good family.
Here.
20s stick together.
Thank
That's a
you.
good family.
You don't know how
That's like
sweet
the
it
Brodies.
is.
They're a good family.
You don't know how sweet it is to win $1 from Smoking Jim. Because he gambles it all away at the casino. He doesn't mess around.
I've been winning on Colorado and San Francisco.
Well, speaking of Colorado, I'm not a fan of primetime. Never have been. All these people, even McAfee on TV says, he's always been one of his favorite players. I don't believe any of that. And here's the thing, NIL, it helped out.
Yeah, it did.
How can you not say when you get 86 new players, you got rid of everybody?
Yeah.
You hear all this luggage and furniture thing. You're throwing out furniture. Hey, guys, how about there's a football. You either throw it, kick it, or catch it.
Yes, sir.
Why are we talking about luggage that he brought all the luggage with him? And his son threw for 900 yards in 2 games.
Yeah.
So, Shedeur, I salute you. Your dad, I still don't respect him. I want to see what happens when they lose a game because they're going to.
Who are they playing next? Who do they got?
Colorado State. I already got money on it. I got money on the 2 C's, Colorado and Cleveland.
For all of you new to the show, Smoking Jim's like a Pete Rose in football, a degenerate gambler. And a few years back, I tell these stories. He gives a lock. It's an absolute lock. They can't lose.
Cold lead pipe lock.
Stone cold lead lock. Well, the first year he did it, he only won 2 out of 7. The last 5 he lost. The next year, he did it again. He had another 5 out of 7 that he lost those. He lost more than he won. And then last year I couldn't even keep track because he was losing everything. And then when they started to win, guess what he lost? He lost when they won. So, I mean, how can you do that? He puts a Yankee hat on, and he likes winners. He just found out they're in last place. So whoever sold the $5 hat, $5 shirt, and
There's a tag. Hold on, there's a tag still in there.
Yeah, there's size 28 shoes he got on. He paid $10 for it.
No, it says $40.
Okay. Well, we covered the Pirates a little bit there. And if you're going to gamble, don't start. And if you do the opposite of him. And we've had more winners than losers doing that. It's only about 50-50, so watch your money.
I got a question for him. A serious question now. If we're going to dissect Cleveland's abilities, do you not think that the Steelers can pressure him like they did last year into him making mistakes? Because I think
Who's him?
Deshaun Watson. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Deshaun. What do you think?
No, Cleveland have their interior line's outstanding. Their center and their 2 guards is outstanding. Watt is almost all the way back, and he got some weapons, man. And that running game, how you gonna stop the running game? I always said when you guys was giving Omar the Con man all this credit. For
I
doing
like
nothing,
Omar Khan. He's
for
done
doing
great.
absolutely nothing. I said they're not better in the middle. They had a poor draft. The defensive line is a joke, and they got the worst corners in football history.
That's 'cause
and
you
now
don't
they
like-
got, now
you
they
don't
got
like
a
JP.
horrible strong safety. To win in the 3-4 defense, you got to have 2 great outside linebackers, which they do when they put Herbeck in there. And you got to have
He slipped
a
up,
hero
folks.
guy at strong safety. Donnie Shell, a Cornell Lake, a Troy Polamalu, we don't have that. We got guys that's looking up at the Jumbotron to figure out whether they should chase a guy or not.
And KZ was not good.
No. And
they
it's not
they
his
threw it
fault.
underneath him all day.
You know who I wanted
I don't
in
know
the
why they didn't
draft?
bring back Edmonds.
You know
Edmonds
who
had
I-
a solid, his
Yeah,
only
he-
solid year last
He
year.
wasn't as good as his brother.
Well,
though.
Edmonds
That's
was
the only
only
problem.
Steelers. He was only supposed to go in the 3rd or 4th round. Steelers only drafted him because Tomlin probably went to the prom with his mom. But listen, on draft,
not a fact.
I always said that the Steelers should have taken Brian Branch
You and I
from
talked
Alabama.
about Brian Branch.
Brian Branch could play. He'd have been that perfect.
You
strong
are right
safety.
again.
He already got a pick 6 for a
I would have been
touchdown.
okay with him at pick 32 for sure. You and I talked about that off the air
Yeah.
a long time ago before the draft, yeah.
And I
Shit,
said
good.
before, and I said on the show recently, I said that Jordan Love is better than Aaron Rodgers. I rated the top 15
Wow, did
quarterbacks
he
on
do
another
good.
show, and everybody thought I was crazy. Does anybody think I'm crazy now?
Not today.
Jordan Love is special, man. He's ready to play.
They did play the Bears, though, so there's that.
Ooh, here we go.
Hold
At
it.
Chicago, too. At
We got
Chicago.
Chief makes a comment. Prime is all about prime. All right, I want to do something. The panel here, Cleveland or Steelers? Jim.
I already got money on Cleveland.
Steelers.
I'm not being a homer. I think the Steelers, they're going to bounce back, and I think they can pressure any team in the league. And I think a lot of those little nitpick things that went wrong aren't going to go wrong two weeks in a row. And Monday night at home, I think they're going to be fine.
Hey, I respect all your opinions. I have no Kool-Aid in me. Browns.
Yes, we think alike.
Whoa! Oh,
He's wearing the shirt.
I put it on.
You don't like Cleveland?
Remember back, what was it, 89, where they lost 51-0?
I was going to bring that up.
Yeah,
And they went to the
Cincinnati,
playoffs.
Cleveland, back-to-back
They went to the
games.
playoffs.
And what they do the following week, they played the Vikings. I remember everybody said there's no
Yeah.
way that they're going to win. No, and they did. And then they went to the 9-7
Well, here's my
in the playoffs.
disclaimer.
Kind of my point.
Here's
It's a
my
long- it's a long season,
here's my
right?
disclaimer.
It's a long season.
I agree with 89.
It's a long season. These guys are professionals.
Cleveland
and-
wins.
And don't miscount. We've seen it all the time. An NFL team, these are professional athletes. And when they get embarrassed, they come out with a little bit of a grudge. Seen
Well,
time and time
you'll make
again.
me bring up my line that I talk about when we go, our team sucks and other teams are bad. Rozelle started parity in the NFL. So you got the best players in the country playing football. And for whatever reason, some teams are traditional, like the mistake on the lake, but I predict they're going to win. They do get upset and they do come together, but if it's not at the same time, you still have the problem. And that's what I'm saying with the Steelers. We have a slow starting coach, first half of the year for sure. He likes momentum at the end of the year. And luckily, we haven't had a losing season in his whole career. This is his 17th year, 16 in a row. So we're in the slow part of starting up the play.
Like you said, they
Slower
got
than I
a top
thought
10
they were gonna be.
quarterback. We got a bottom 10 quarterback. Very well said, Machine.
Well, I have a lot of friends. I didn't say that, but I did say Kenny Pickett shouldn't have played last year because with no offensive line and being a rookie, you say a year and a half. It used to be 3 to 5.
That's
So
right.
you're right in the modern era.
Marriage made him soft.
I agree. And guess what? He didn't look scared. Smoking Jim, you should know about marriage.
oh!
I'll bring that up. I know more about him, so I know where he's coming from on that. He didn't look scared. He looked like he couldn't throw to the receiver, right? You were saying that's what it looked like to me. He wasn't scared because he said, Moore's back to the open door. I'm just running right.
And his eyes closed.
No, they were wide open.
Don't
Well-
worry, Moore's going to be on the right side like I predicted.
Oh, you did. You
Because
and
Chooks
Nick
is going to
did.
have
You
a
and Nick-
concussion. They're going to put Dan Moore over on the right.
Jukes is African.
I hope
He
we
can play-
see that.
He can play with that concussion.
Well, we're just about out of here. I want to thank all of you for watching the show. Thanks to Johnny here. Thanks to young Michael. Thanks to Marco. Thanks to Big Mike. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Smoking Jim. We don't know what personality's coming out with them, but somehow we got it today. And I'm all in on Cleveland with Smoking Jim. This is a rare occasion that I agree with them. Please stay Joey strong.